Right. Okay. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first Three Black Heathens show. I am one of the hosts, Emperor Atheist, with my two colleagues, Nate Brody and the infamous Dragnot Silvers. I really appreciate those who are already in the show. We're going to try to make this the best podcast ever in the universe. Thanks to all our fans and all the subscribers we already got, even before the first show. We really appreciate that. We appreciate the love. We definitely do. Drag, I know you want to give a shout out to some people for making this first show already.
Oh, got to. Before we even do anything, man, all this art and stuff that y'all see, our man Monty Stickman, he's in the chat right now, matter of fact. So if y'all wondering where we get all these little graphics and shit from, Monty, my man. So we cannot leave him out. So the music came from the man himself, the meatball master, Mr. Mowdy.
Chris.
There he is. So Redline, my man. Redline gave us a huge shout out. So thank you, Redline. I cannot and will not forget you. And then, of course, good old Booleanator, the man that helped us with some major production issues. That really helped us out.
Co-producer of the year right there.
Oh man, so yeah, that's so, and everybody else too who shared the links and let folks know word of mouth. Trust me, y'all will definitely get what's coming to you in the afterlife. I promise. I promise you 40 acres.
Yo, so let's start this off because we don't want to keep you guys too long from watching. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a clip from Steve Harvey. Now, this is going to start off our talk about being black and an atheist. Now, even though I'm going to say I don't know how all black people think, I would never make that claim, but this is what most of the people in the community that I meet think like. So you're going to watch the clip and let's check it out.
What's his moral barometer? Where is it at? It's nowhere.
Speaking of God, you say in the book that you wouldn't go out with a woman. I guess a woman should not go out with a man who doesn't believe in God.
No, I mean, why would you?
Well, do you believe that only people who are religious are ethical and moral?
No, I just believe if you don't believe in God, then where's your moral barometer? That's just me talking.
I
You can believe what you want to believe, but if you're an atheist, you're basing your goodness and morality on what? I mean, but what is an atheist? I don't really get into that. When I've talked to people all the time, I'm an atheist. I just walk away. I don't know what to say to you.
Well, an atheist is someone who doesn't quite believe that there is somebody out there, some God out there.
Well, then to me, you're an idiot.
Okay, well.
So I'm cool with that. I'm just probably not the right politically correct thing to say. But if you don't believe in God, I mean, really, you got to have an explanation for this. You just can't tell me this spun out of a gastrous ball.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, then we were evolved from monkeys. Why we still got monkeys? It's too much open here. I just believe that. And if you don't believe that, then I don't like talking to you.
I say.
Man, he pulled fucking a Kent Hovind, William Lane Craig. He pulled everything. He just said, "Fuck it."
Ray Comfort, the banana shit from Ray Comfort, all type of bullshit.
Why do we still have monkeys? That's what he said.
Why we still got monkeys, man? Though, I don't know how many times I done had to explain this shit to people, and it's like there's nothing that I would ever tell anybody on Google that they can't find themselves on Google. Like that's my thing. It's like it ain't no big fucking secret. It is. Here's why. We are not monkeys. Technically, we're great apes, and we share a common ancestor. You can think of them as a cousin species. They exist as we exist. You got cousins. The reason monkeys still exist is the same reason your dumb ass got cousins. That's why.
Right. You know what, man? I don't know really. Steve Harvey. I like that clip though. I really like that clip, and that clip actually brings us into what we really want to talk about, specifically with black people today. Why we so anti-reason and anti-intellectual when it comes to God. This man just sit up here and said that he just called people, anybody don't believe in a God is an idiot. He said, and he talked about a gaseous ball. I mean, whatever the fuck, you know, I mean, I guess he's referring to the damn, I guess he's referring to the Big Bang, he has some type of probably warped view of it. But I think people, I would love to get Steve Harvey on this show too, y'all. I think we should work towards that.
But you know what though? One thing that does bother me about that clip, and let's say if he was talking about any other actual religion, like if he said, yo, if you say you're a Hindu, I think you stupid. And on top of that, I don't even want to talk to you. People would be up in arms, right? People would be like, yo, that's ridiculous. What, you know, just because he doesn't believe what you believe. Right. But he can get up there and say, yo, if you're an atheist, you scum. And, you know, I don't even want to talk to you. That's straight up what he's saying. And he throw out this whole, you know, why are they still monkeys? She should have said, well, hey, if Americans came from people from England, then why the hell is England still around? You know, it's a stupid argument, but I think it shows a bigger thing. It shows he's not educated on these topics at all. He just spouting some nonsense right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Parroting the same ignorant shit he heard from his mammy and his ignorant ass fucking, you know, grandma and so on and so forth. And I say that because of my family members say stupid shit like this all the fucking time, and they don't want to actually know the truth because they say, well, if I can just make this derogatory ass comment, then that's good enough for me because I feel like this is the way things are, and then everyone else is just, you know, deceived or whatever the hell, you know, kind of platitude that they want to give at that moment. And it's like, well, you're doing yourself a disservice because, well, shit, if somebody has a vehicle to instill morality within someone, well, wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want, if your way of obtaining moral values are really superior, then shit, what better way to find out than matching up against somebody else's, right?
Exactly. But you know what, man? I think this is a great topic. Even though we do know that all ethnic groups suffer from, you know, religiosity. They suffer from the ignorance of religion and of course indoctrination. But specifically, Steve Harvey being a black man and getting on a major show saying stupid stuff like that. To me, now this is to me, because of course we got a lot of white ignorant people that would get up there and say stuff like that. But to me personally, I think that rings true within the black community as far as the way we are stuck on specifically Christianity, man, and how we think. Like, if you don't believe in Jesus specifically, if you don't accept Jesus, you question this Jesus Christ, then you're like an outcast within the black community. You know what I mean? And I think this is, I think, and like we said today, man, we was talking earlier, we was talking about people like Dragnot's favorite friend, G-Man, and the CCP people. I mean, it's just, you know, people like that. And Steve Harvey, you know, he's not that far from that way of thinking.
No, he's not. He has that way of thinking. That's what he said is what I expect G-Man to say. That's what he just said. What G-Man would say if he was online, he would be a member of the CCP, no doubt about it.
I believe that. I agree with that.
That's true. I mean, but you know, the way that I don't know about y'all, but I've actually spoken to my family member, my uncle. My uncle had like removed my ass from Facebook. Like the second I started saying, you know what, I have some doubt. Like I think I posted something about, you know, me having doubts about the way that, you know, certain people, you know, believe whatever. Like, it was some really atheism light bullshit, like years and years and years ago. So he sent me a message like, hey nephew. So I see you've been putting these posts up about how you hate God. When did this happen? I'm like, when the fuck did I say that? Like, what? I'm like, look. So I wrote, like. And so he pulled some Steve Harvey shit on me, and I had to educate his ass. Like I wrote his ass like 5 paragraphs, no less than 5 paragraphs, explaining like, man, this is some fallacious bullshit here. And of course, it's my uncle. I'm trying to be as thorough and respectful as I can be. But like he replies, oh, well, I still love you. If you need me, you can call me. And boop, boy, he hit that like a Zulu in a heartbeat. Like, he was not playing. And I'm just like, wow, like they value this bullshit over like blood, like actual flesh and blood.
Hey, listen, I sent this clip to my mom, and I was like, "Yo, mom, check this out." Now, even though it was a struggle getting her to play the clip, because you know, if you send something to older people, she's like, "What do I do? Do I press the button and all that shit?" So we got to struggle just to even watch the motherfucking clip. So eventually, she pop it up, and she listened to it, and she like, "Yeah." She's like, "What is something wrong?" He thought the interviewer had said something wrong. She was like, "What did she say something wrong? You know, what did she say that was wrong?" And I was like, "No, what Steve Harvey said." She's like, "Nah, you know, that's cool. I understand what he," and I'm like, "Damn, it's like that." But that's honestly the way black people feel about the atheists, and because I think Christianity is so entwined with the black experience in America, the struggle. Jesus was all part of the struggle. And that story of struggle, it's, you know, the Bible teaches a story of, hey, the meek shall inherit the earth. You know, you suffer now because your treasures are in heaven. And that's the story of the black experience in America. If you're a slave and somebody's telling you, well, fuck this life, you're going to have eternal life, you're going to have eternal riches. That's something that, you know, if I'm a slave or if I'm being oppressed, that's something I have to look forward to. And that's why I think most black people, you know, cling to that religion, because it's hope. It's a story of hope, but it's just a story of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. I don't know if y'all ever really thought about this, man. I told I told my mom this about a year ago. She started laughing. You know, she's a diehard Christian, but you know the whole belief that. And then I want to address some of the fallacies, man, that Steve made, because we played the clip with stupid ass Steve Harvey, and I think we should address some of the fallacies within not only the black religious communities, but the religious community, period. But I told my mom, I said, think about this, Mom. I said, think about Jesus. I said, and he said, you know, you believe he died for our sins and all of this. I mean, the guy didn't even make a real sacrifice because he was only dead for the weekend. I mean, I think if a person is going to die for you, he should stay dead, you know, and why didn't Jesus stay dead? He should still be dead. There's no way he should have came. That's like cheating to me. You know, you got this super God. Your father's up in heaven. Well, you already damn know it. I got my father's up in heaven. He got all these fucking magical powers. So I'm really not going to really be dead. I'm going to come back and go to heaven. So that's kind of cheating to me. I think a real sacrifice, if Jesus would have stayed dead, you know, I think that's what should have happened. He should have stayed dead. Other than that, it's some bullshit.
Yeah, because a part of me is wondering, is it really just the pain that's being focused on? Maybe it's a failure on my part not to be empathetic toward this character of Jesus that has sacrificed himself in this way thousands of years before I was even born for something that don't even fucking affect my goddamn life. Because I've actually asked Christians this. I said, okay, so let me not just brush off the shit that you're saying here. Let me understand something. How does sin, and I actually asked this of somebody very, very, very recent. I can't remember the dude's name, but I think it was in Skylish. I want to say it was in Skylish chat. I said, look, what does sin actually do to a person? Like if there's some weird pathology going on here that I need to know about. So if you have a sinless person versus a sinful person, can we diagnose that? No. Does that actually impact their life negatively? No. Right. Then what the fuck do I even care about it for? Like, why are you burdening me with this magical fucking disease?
Like, who cares? But you know what? To address the ignorance that people like Steve Harvey said, and G-Mans of the world, and the CCP guys. He said a few stupid things, but one main thing he said, if you don't believe in God, he said, what is your morality? This is something that we always go into. Y'all understand this. This is morality argument, which William Lane Craig always addresses, which is basically easily refuted, especially when we understand other meta-ethical values within philosophy. But he said that if you don't believe in God, he said, what do you base your ethics on? What do you base your morality on? And this is something that's really pathetic. And I think it should be kind of like, you know, we should always cut the head off of this. When we look at Christianity, specifically in America, we just talk about numbers and probability. And you look at the prison system. I just want to make one example. It's like 1,000 examples I can make. I've made videos on this. You look at the prison system. It's full of rapists and murderers and armed robbers and all of these type things. 98% of these people within the prison system, I think Nate MP can speak on this, 98% of these people are religious. They're Christian or Muslim or something. So morality didn't stop. I mean, the atheist population in prison is probably damn near less than 1%. So basically what I'm saying, most of your criminals, just in America, we're not even talking about nobody, believe in this goddamn Jesus Christ. They believe in the God of the Bible, the God of the Mormon book, or some type of God. So religion itself does not have any basis for any type of morality. And when you talk about the biblical God, I think that is the most immoral character ever written about. When he commanded people like Moses and Joshua and Caleb to murder innocent women and children. He told them to wipe out the Canaanite land and to wipe people out. That's not really morally based. So when we talk about morality, I mean, you really can't use Christianity or the Quran or Islam as a moral basis. So that's a stupid. But that's a real illogical stance for him to take.
But Emperor, I know what the Christian would say. The Christian would say the 10 Commandments are in that book. You know what I'm saying? Jesus said, love the poor. There are good things in the Bible. You know, so that's what I think they grounded more. So how would you answer that? How would you answer the Christian that says no? The Bible isn't all that.
That's easy because that's very simple. Because there are good things in the Bible, just like there are good things. There are good things within certain poisons that'll help. There are good things when you get bit by a snake, you got to use the same poison to heal you. So we know that there are good things within the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament. But this is what I would say historically to answer that, which is something simple. Before the Bible, right, we have what we call, you have what you call, even when you go to ancient Egypt, okay, you have what you call the 42 laws of Ma'at. Okay, these are ancient morality laws that these people didn't know about a Yahweh or Elohim or Allah. These morality rules, or even when we talk about the code of Hammurabi. Hammurabi was a king of Babylon, ancient king of Babylon, which had moral codes, which he actually got from the god Shemesh. This is why if you ever look on this black marble stone, it's about 7 feet tall. It's in the British Museum. It's part of the British Museum now. It's called the Code of Hammurabi, which is over 232 codes of morality, of how to treat your neighbors, how to do business ventures, how to be, how to handle basically early arbitration laws, contracts. You understand what I'm saying? So all of this is a moral-based religion that predates Judaism or the Torah by thousands of years. So when you talk about morality, you telling me history and culture proves that the Bible or the Yahweh can't be the only deity that brings morality, because the ancient Egyptians had moral codes. The ancient Babylonians, ancient Persians who predated them had moral codes. So that alone destroys any type of thing based in saying that Jesus brought morality. And when you talk about Jesus, I mean, Jesus was basically immoral too. He was an oxymoronic character, whether he was real or not. He was very oxymoronic and strange because he also told people that you have to hate your mother and your father and your brother and your sister to follow me. Who the fuck would tell somebody that?
So somebody who was control, man.
That was not a moral person. Now, when he fed groups of people with fish and bread. Okay, that was a good thing he did. But I think we can get any good out of anything. That's good in the Quran. I don't care how much jihad you read about, how much killing Prophet Muhammad did, how many little girls he had sex with. There still were good moral teachings within the Quran, just like there were great moral teachings within the Bhagavad Gita. There's great moral teachings within Jainism. There's great moral teachings within Buddhism. Confucius was moral. He didn't believe in a Yahweh. So morality is something that is innate within just human culture. We see that through studying all the way across the board. The Native Americans didn't give a damn about no Yahweh or no King James Bible. They had moral codes within within their own constitution. You know, within the Iraqi Indian constitution, they had moral codes. The Sioux Indian, or the Cherokees have no moral code. They was some bullshit.
Well, but, can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
And I do want to ask. And the problem here, I think, is that being a black atheist, as we all are.
Yeah, back to that.
No, just I want to ask just one quick question, because everything I agree with what you're saying, but then how do you interact with the black community, knowing that they all not only despise you, but that they think that, you know, like Steve Harvey said, he wouldn't even talk to you if he knew you were an atheist. So how do you interact with, like you said your mom, Drag said his uncle. You know, my mom cried when I told her I was an atheist. So how were those interactions? Because
this is how I do it. Me and Drag talked about this probably like a year ago. You know, y'all know the old saying about catching. Like I said, when I told my mother this, she laughed about it. Only reason she laughed about it because I have already, I've basically over the years already rubbed my mother the right way with my anti-theism or my atheism. You understand what I'm saying? What I mean by rubbed in the right way, I didn't start it off like, oh damn that, what you raised me up on is some bullshit. I ain't following in the footsteps of my father. No, I eased it to him. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Catch with honey better than you can catch with vinegar. So basically what we do, what I think we need to do, if we really care about our family and friends, understanding our views, I don't think we should challenge them. I mean, like we do on the internet, you know, we debate, we chop heads off. That's what we do on the internet, and we're supposed to, because we're trying to normalize atheism. But when it comes to our family members, and I think friends and people we care about, because within most of our family, we know damn well we the minority, or some of us are even loners as being atheists. I actually have another sister who's an atheist, but I think we shouldn't attack them. We should actually, you know, let them bring it to us. You know what I mean? Because they can tell that we ain't believing no more. Let them bring it to us and just show them. We have to show them. Show them. Say, hey man, look, you ever thought about this? This don't make no sense. And then the question, and once they start questioning, you be cool about it, and you start bringing. And this is how I helped a couple of my cousins out. They're not really atheists now, but they're more agnostic. They're like, man, you know what? You know what, Alex, man, you right. I went back and studied this, man. It don't make sense. It don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to confront them face on, you know, I mean, that's the only thing I can see as far as trying to, I won't use the term convince, but trying to just let them see your side in a good way.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's what I say.
You know what? A situation happened to me with my sister. My sister recently passed about 2.5 years ago when she passed away. And when she was passing, she had cancer the first time, and when her cancer, when it had retreated, we were all happy. And my mom said, you know, thank God, and she was praying. You know, we all went to church, just doing the regular thing that you would do when somebody survives something like that. But then the cancer, you know, remission came back. The cancer came back, and eventually, you know, she passed away. And I remember when she passed away, my mom, she said something like, it was like one of those remarks. She was like, oh, well, you know, thank God that, you know, that he healed her the first time so she can have another, you know, 3 or 4 years with her kids. And I said, well, why the hell did he give her cancer in the first place? I said, you know, why did he make her suffer in the first place? What the hell type of logic is that? You know, I would rather him, if he's a God, right, he should not give her the cancer knowing that she got 4 kids. He should not give her the cancer knowing that she got to suffer. He shouldn't let her waste away and die. So what type of God are we talking about? That seems like a monster. And we had at the funeral home, we had a huge argument with that shit because, you know, sometimes you get emotional and you be like, you know, look at this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, if the same God that you say did everything is the one that put in his fucking same spot, and that's the problem right now. And it's hard because it is emotional sometimes. You know, it's emotional because, you know, I would like to have that type of relationship with them, but I can't believe the lie, and I feel it's just straight up a lie. I don't know. Yeah, what about you, Drag?
I've had similar experiences, man, with some of my one of my cousins. His wife died of cancer, and I'm trying to reach out to him because I say I did a shitty job doing it too because I still at that time felt like, you know, all of these motherfuckers are deceived. So, you know, so I probably didn't handle it with the best tact. I said, you know what? Let me go back. Let me try and say, hey, this is actually, I actually ended up linking the conversation I had. I think it might have been with a CCP member back then. And I'm like, look, you know, this is me actually engaging somebody. We had a decent conversation. They go, man, you know, here you go on with your antics again. I'm like, what the fuck you mean my antics? I'm like, what does that even mean? And I just, because I hate to death. My family members are dumb as fucking doorknobs, but will swear up and down that they can condescend to any motherfucker they come across. I'm like, y'all don't know dick from nothing. But y'all, it's aggravating. And my mother's a theist, and I was like, how do you deal with these fucking people? Like, how do you? And she's like, I deal with them the same way you do. And I was like, because I said I'm gonna call them. Every single time my aunts, my uncles, cousins remove me because they would put up some bullshit, especially when it comes to, because they believe all this stupid shit that the pseudoscience nonsense with the special filters to change the pH in the water and all this shit. It's like, look, y'all getting scammed. I'm just putting it out there. They get mad because they don't like being corrected. Like, no,
Yeah,
why do we still have monkeys?
Yeah, that's like, they are the Steve Harveys, and it's like it's hard for me to engage with them because I have to play with with kid gloves. I have to say, look, if y'all want to come to me and talk about this, then we can, but don't think that you're going to have a conversation with me and say some bullshit, and I'm not going to go like, hey, here's the actual case, like this is what's going on, we can actually talk about it. But it came to a head with one of my younger cousins. Now, mind you, her mother died of brain cancer. It was actually one of the motivations for me to go into, the field that I'm going into now. And I'm talking to her, and I was talking to her older brother, my older cousin, and they pretty much, and this is separately, both pretty much told me, and I'm paraphrasing, we were raised in the church, and that is the reason why we don't question the things we believe. And I'm just like, wow, like they have completely closed themselves off to being even open to the idea that they could be wrong about anything dealing with theology, anything.
That's
and I'm
true.
just like, how do you grow as a person if you close yourself off to the possibility of you being wrong about anything? I'm like, that's bad. Like, you have curtailed your personal growth. I said, I'm not going to be like that. Point blank period. I'm not going to do that. And that is why they I mean, I hate to, the comparison between what kind of influence they have on people around them and the kind of influence that I have on the people around me, it shows. Like, it's a stark contrast, night and day,
Right.
I hear that. Well, listen, this is a good time to make the transition to our next clip. So right now coming up, we got Jeff Sessions. So hold on one second.
Jeffy. Jeffy
Sessions.
boy.
So you guys are going to hear Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and he is going to be talking about the Religious Liberty Task Force. So let me let you go. This is NBC News. So let's hear what Jeff has to say about the Religious Liberty Task Force. This Trump shit is crazy. Here we go.
Let's be frank. A dangerous movement, undetected by many, but real, is now challenging and eroding a great tradition of religious freedom. There can be no doubt. It's no little matter. It must be confronted intellectually and politically and defeated. This past election, and much that has flowed from it, gives us a rare opportunity to arrest these trends and to confront them. Such a reversal will not just be done with electoral victories, however, but by intellectual victories. We've gotten to the point where courts have held that morality cannot be a basis for law, where ministers are fearful to affirm, as they understand it, Holy Writ from the pulpit, and where one group can actively target religious groups by labeling them hate groups. There can be no doubt that we are stronger as a nation because of the contribution of religious people. Every day across America, they feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, educate our young people, care for the sick. They do so not because the government tells them to, but because they want to. They do these things because of their faith.
Hey, hold on the clip. I don't think anybody can hear it, man.
That people in Washington have no idea the extent to which our religious community is with the American people in times of birth, death, marriage.
Hold on, you said nobody can hear the clip?
And those kind of
Yeah, everybody's telling me. I got messages of people saying they can't hear any of the clips.
Oh, all right, cool. Well,
and
we'll just move from the clips then, because we tested it out. I don't know, maybe it's just the volume on the clip. All right, well,
They said they hear it, but it's low.
all right. I gotta think how to fix the mixer. All right, I'll try it next time. But essentially, what he's saying is that what Jeff Sessions is essentially saying is that he's getting a task force together to protect the people who let's say, for instance, if you have the Catholic Church and they don't want to give women birth control or pay for their birth control through insurance. So that's their religious liberty, and you'll see. And they were even talking about how some insurances provide abortions so that women get abortions under their insurance. So the Catholic Church doesn't want to pay for things like that. And obviously, we're talking about bakers who don't want to bake gay cakes for gay couples and things of that nature. So, do you guys feel that the United States government, we need a religious liberty task force to protect religious liberty?
Hell no. First of all, Drag, you want to say something on this bullshit, Jeffy boy? Because I'm about to go in on Jeffy boy.
I just got a few quick. I'm like, he's like, there's this sinister force that's out there to conspire to take away religious liberty from people. Like he's talking like there's some fucking like Power Ranger fucking villain out there who's out there like siphoning all the religion out of America, some shit. Like he's never like actually identified who this organization is or what this organization is, who belongs to them, how they're doing it. Like it's just this nebulous fucking entity out there that's just siphoning religiosity out everywhere. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, you can bring back COINTELPRO while you're at it, because I mean that why not, right? But like, how exactly does he expect to do this? Like, and I get it. Even if I don't agree with religion, people should have their religious rights to do shit. But the issue that I have, and I foresee this, if you start defining your religious edicts or tenets that are diametrically opposed, right, to people's individual freedoms and rights, ironically enough, so something has to give. You can't just have a religion potentially set up that is, counter to what our laws are. Because you're not going to say, well, I'm going to use the Constitution to back my ability to break fucking laws. Like that's, I mean, and it is kind of far-fetched right now.
Hey, man.
That's what I don't want to see happen.
Listen, man. This goddamn Dracula vampire Jeff Sessions. Let me tell you something about.
Yo, he does look like Dracula, though. I thought I was the only one.
Yeah, he is Dracula, man. He is fucking Count Dracula. I don't give a fuck nobody. This motherfucker is a Draco. Listen, man, let me tell you something. First of all, let's go to the top. We're not going to even start with this stupid ass theocratic, racist attorney general. We're going to start with his boss, Donald Duck Trump. Now, since he's been in office, man, him and the stupid ass vice president, they've been trying their best to turn what's supposed to be in this country a democracy, which we know for a fact that this particular country is not a Christian nation, it doesn't supposed to be an Islamic nation. God is not even in the Constitution. But Trump is trying to turn this supposed democracy into a theocracy. He's been trying this for a minute, man. He's been talking about this. But now I don't know if y'all was up on this, man. Jeff Sessions, when Donald Trump was